Hi, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my blueberry banana muffins from plantbasedonabudget.com. This recipe comes from my book, Plant-Based on a Budget, and it also is on my website, as I mentioned, and it is one of my favorites. It's been tried by thousands of people who love them, and it's so customizable. I cannot wait to show you how easy it is. They're also freezer friendly and great for meal prep, so let's get started. We're starting with 3 very ripe bananas. I've got 2 that are extremely ripe and 1 that's on its way out, but I'm curious, do you use your very brown bananas? See, I wait for them sometimes to turn completely brown where you can't even see the yellow. That's when they're really sweet. I know not everybody likes that taste, but I do. So I'm going to use 2 of those and then 1 of these. And it calls for mashed bananas. And sometimes when I'm feeling up to it, I will mash the bananas beforehand. Also, I always keep a compost bin nearby so that I don't have to keep running back to the trash can, and I can save these for my garden. Depending on how I feel, I will mash the bananas in advance, or what I'm doing today, because it's the end of the day and I'm tired and I'm just trying to relieve myself of one more step, is I'm gonna put them all in this bowl, and I'm going to add all the other ingredients, and I'm going to use an electric mixer instead of mixing by hand so that they're soft enough and they will get blended up easily into the batter. Next, we're going to add in some flour. This is 1.5 cups. I know it's kind of interesting that these measuring cups offer a 1.5 cups, so that's pretty cool. And I'm just going to add that into the bowl with the bananas. I'm going to add some granulated sugar. This I would call an optional ingredient because if you're using really ripe bananas, it can sometimes be sweet enough. And so some people who have made it skipped the sugar and loved it just the same. So you can make that decision for yourself. I like a sweet muffin, and that's why I add the sugar. Adding in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And if you're not writing this down, that's totally fine. I'm going to include the link to the printable recipe down below. Add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then the last ingredient we're adding is a neutral oil. And I'm using vegetable oil. I know there are a lot of opinions on oil, so use the one that you like best. If you wanted to add in some optional additions, you can do flax meal for the nutrients. You could do some cinnamon. You can also swap out the all-purpose flour that I used for whole wheat flour. Next, I'm going to use my handy dandy electric mixer. You can mix it by hand, especially if you plan on mashing your bananas beforehand, but I'm gonna use my electric mixer. And cool thing about this electric mixer is that I got it for free on our local Buy Nothing group. So if you have not checked out your local Buy Nothing group on Facebook, they're so good. Basically, your neighbors give away things that they're not using, and you can also give away things, and then it prevents waste, and sometimes you can get some really cool things like a handy dandy mixer. Okay. Now I'm going to press down and mix it until it is all nice and creamed together. As you can see, it got nice and creamy very quickly. If you're using a stand mixer, you'll want to make sure you scrape the bottoms so that it's evenly mixed well. But if you're using a hand mixer, it's much easier to just scrape while you go along. Now I'm going to add in 1 cup of blueberries. I'm using fresh blueberries over frozen blueberries because I don't want them to bleed and turn my batter blue. So I'm going with fresh, but you can definitely use your frozen blueberries if that's what you have on hand. It just might turn your batter a little bit blue. And I'm gonna toss them in just like that and use a spatula to gently mix them in evenly. It smells delicious, and if you are a fan of trying your batter while you're baking, this one is safe to do because it's eggless. If you also want a little bit of a vanilla taste, you could have added in vanilla too, and that is very good. As I mentioned, I used fresh blueberries, but you can use shredded zucchini, you can use grated carrots, you can use raspberries, chocolate chips, swap it out with whatever you want, and it's gonna be delicious. You can also add in some seeds or chopped nuts. I would keep that to about 1/4 cup so that it's not overpowering the batter. I moved my batter to the side, and I'm going to use a 3 tablespoon cookie scoop to scoop the batter into each of these cupcake liners. And I'm using the silicone liners. These are from Amazon. I'll link all of this below, but I really love them. I've had them for years. You can see that they're losing color and have some oil stains on them, but they're so useful, practical, and have saved me a ton of money on regular paper liners over the years. Now I'm going to simply scoop my batter into each. If you don't have a 3 tablespoon cookie scoop, that's totally fine. You can just fill them almost to the top of each liner. But I like using this tool because it's so much cleaner. I always make a mess. I've tried using measuring cups. I've tried using a Pyrex glass pouring measuring cup, and I'm just so messy that this seems to be the cleanest way for me to get it done. And I like that they come out evenly as well when I use this, because sometimes I make one muffin really small and one is like overflowing. This ensures that they're mostly equal. And if you want, and you don't care about them being equal, I'm scraping the batter and I'm adding it so that it does not go to waste. I also reserved some blueberries so that it looks prettier on top. I'm gonna press them in so you can see that they are blueberry muffins when you're giving them to whoever's gonna eat them. And you don't have to put too many. I like to put in 1 to 2 depending on if there are any others showing. And I think they just look so pretty. And I also think it's fun, maybe you do blueberry muffins. You could do raspberries on top or chocolate chips. That would be fun and delicious. And you can also do half and half, especially if you are doing these for meal prep. You can double the batch and they freeze really well. What I like to do is bake them, let them completely cool, individually wrap them if you want them to last longer. I use aluminum foil, but you can also use plastic wrap if that's what you have, and then put them in a Ziploc bag and then put them in the freezer. I like to thaw them out, but you can also microwave them if you're in a hurry and you just need something really quickly out of the freezer. Okay, here's what they look like. They look so good. I'm gonna put them in my already preheated oven. It's at 375 Fahrenheit, and I will come back in about 25 minutes to show you what they look like. These are fresh out of the oven. I can feel them radiating heat, and they are so beautiful. I mean, they are stunning. These are absolutely gorgeous. These muffins come out perfect every time. I love them so much. I can't even tell you how many times that my family has enjoyed them. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Again, you can find the printable link down below. And if you make them, please let me know how it goes and if you made any modifications. I'm really curious. Do you use sugar or only bananas? Did you add cinnamon? Did you add nuts or seeds? Did you swap out the blueberries for chocolate chips or some carrots? Oh, these are all great options, and I hope that you can take this recipe and make it your own and use it for years to come. And if you enjoyed my content, I would be so grateful if you hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. I love hearing from you. It makes my day. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.